Hello everyone and welcome to this new pick a card reading. Now today's subject was second to be voted by my wonderful followers here on YouTube as well as over on Instagram. Thank you so much, you guys. I've been really interested to digging into this one. We're going to be tapping into your next spiritual awakening today. And I just wanted to start this video as well by making a little quick but very important disclaimer about this one. Because today we'll be basically digging up some information about some major life events, what may be happening inside of your life right before that, that may trigger actually this spiritual awakening to occur. We'll also be looking into some signs and synchronicities that you may be able to observe inside of your life right before that awakening hits. But one thing that I won't do though is reveal what the spiritual awakening will be like for you, because that will be like taking away the whole purpose of what an awakening is supposed to be. That will basically take the whole like essence out of it, right? Because in order for an awakening to be experienced properly, it has to be a personal experience, because this is how it's going to be able to resonate enough for you and speak to you on such a deep core level. That's how it's going to be able to relate to your very own personal journey, which nobody else is walking but you. You know, an awakening is kind of like a scientist conducting their own little experiment, right? And trying to make their own discoveries. And we'll be making so much of these discoveries throughout our lifetime here. And it will happen many times where we will feel like we have cracked a code somewhere inside of our life, and we'll be experiencing like an intense moment of clarity where our whole paradigm starts to shift. There are some awakenings that are bigger, some that are smaller. They're all important, right? And they're all what they are supposed to be in that particular moment that you're receiving it. So that's what an awakening is. An awakening is you coming up with your own answers and you illuminating your own life. That's why I think that nobody else can do that for you. And so today I will guide you through it, but I won't be putting my own answer onto that for you. I would never try to take away that experience for you. That's not my goal, and that's not the purpose of my channel at all. So if you guys are down with that jam still, hang on, because in a few seconds you will be presented a different pile selection, and all that I will ask you to do is to really take this moment of personal connection with your own intuition to select a pile that you feel speaks to you the most. And once that choice is done, head down into the description box down below and click on a timestamp associated with your pile, and it is there that I shall see you on your reading. Pile 1, and welcome to your reading. So sorry if you can hear the fans around me at this time. It's really dang hot today in Montreal. So I would have filmed another day if I could, but today was really my day. And it's way too hot for me to turn them off. And so I hope that it won't disturb you too much from the reading today. But just wanted to warn you about this because the sound will be a bit different. But let's get started with your tarot cards this time today to see what sort of next life events could be triggering a spiritual awakening for you. And then after that, I'm going to pull some oracle cards later on screen for you guys to take a look at some of the signs and synchronicities that you could be seeing right before that awakening hits. So let's see what you guys have received in terms of your tarot cards. And we are starting with the Six of Swords. Then we have the Nine of Swords. And then finally we have the card of Judgment. So this is powerful. I just want to start by saying that the most powerful awakenings I've ever experienced in my life and that I've ever kind of heard people experience that were very profound are the ones that really make us feel like our back is against the wall most often. Like there are no answers to our prayers and intentions, like there are no exits to what we are going through. When we have been sometimes ruminating the same things over and over again until sometimes it becomes a source of inner torture even. And that's what the Nine of Swords speaks of. The most powerful awakenings of my life have sometimes been experienced when I knew exactly what I needed to do, but I was somehow fearful of it or resisting it or doubtful of it. And sometimes I was trying to suppress it, my own inner voice of intuition and internal knowing. It's as though spirit itself in those moments came to me to help me trust in the process, to tell me that all I had to do was to make the first step forward and then everything else will fall into place. And when we are in a state like that where we kind of resist the solution at hand, right? Where we kind of like resist what we know, we have to do, or where we kind of like resist the process of the hard step, the hard stuff and the kind of sort of steps that we know we have to make in order to free ourselves or liberate ourselves of something, that can only prolong the process for us. It prolongs this sort of pain, the anxiety, the situation even. And so for you, Pawan, your next spiritual awakening feels like the Most High coming through. It feels like your guides or an angel even with this Judgment card here. Or it could be the voice of a deceased loved one that you hear as well. It could even be your own voice, like the voice of your higher self that comes in to free you from that state of anguish with the Knight of Swords and show you a way out with the Six of Swords out of this Nine of Swords state. And this Nine of Swords state is coming through as some major concerns and doubts that have been keeping you awake at night. Like it's the first thing that you could think about when you wake up or the last thing that you could think of before going to sleep. And I clearly see this voice speaking to you, whether it's your own or whether it's coming from another source here, trigger a powerful moment of clarity for you about what the next step should be with the Six of Swords here. I keep hearing next step with the Six of Swords, like a lot of you have been waiting for momentum, maybe, or to know what to do next in your situation, or know what move or what direction you should take, or that could be your situation when this awakening is going to arrive. And I see this voice communicating to you about that direction here. And now there are details as well that will probably evade you, Pawan. There are details to those instructions that you won't be given. And that's because there is a lot of trust that comes into play with your awakening process. And you're going to have to trust in that next step, even if you don't know where it's going to lead you and how and when. So this is divine intelligence coming in to kind of like liberate you, and it will guide you. But one thing that it won't do for you is direct you. what I'm hearing here from your spirit team is that a lot of you have been waiting for some kind of like issue, right? To just be gone in your life with this Nine of Swords, or that's what you're going to be going through when this awakening will be orchestrated. And you're going to feel like all that you need is just for this situation to kind of like almost fix itself, right? Or for you to be able to finally put something behind with the Six of Swords. But this Judgment card, it feels like your awakening for you, pal one, will be more in line of like some kind of divine communication coming through to tell you that you're allowed to move forward and to leave something behind here that has been causing too much of a headache for you in your life. And maybe that this awakening will also be triggered by this understanding that something isn't your problem anymore. And I keep feeling that most of what will have been holding you back from progressing into this awakening is that with this Knight of Swords, a lot of you could be worrying about what's going to happen once you start leaving this behind and going forward with the Six of Swords. And maybe that by the time that this awakening will come through, there's those thoughts and fears, they will have been stealing a lot of your moments of rest where you're kind of supposed to be at peace, or you're supposed to just have fun and not be thinking about this at all. And it might feel like for a while you could never be safe from thinking about that, or from those thoughts always catching back to you. And it's like those worries they kind of keep coming back in a way where it really takes you away from being able to just live in the moment, live your life and think about something else. So I kind of see you in that space, in that kind of situation or position in your life during your next spiritual awakening, part one. And let me just tell you that for a temporary moment, okay, so this is temporary, but you may feel like nobody is hearing you on the other side. But with this Judgment card, I clearly see some spirits around you that will be hearing your intentions. They will be hearing your thoughts. They will be listening to your prayers to be freed from this energy here, whatever it is. And for a while, it's going to feel like nobody in the spirit realm is responding to you or hearing you. So for a little bit, you may experience a sort of period of silence, okay, right before that divine communication starts to come back. And look, I cannot see specifically why spirit won't be responding to you before a while. You know, it may vary from person to person here that chose this pile. But I know that for me, like when it tends to happen where the universe is going silent on me, it's always for a reason usually. And I know that when we are someone that can sometimes be a bit stubborn, spirit will need us to be in that receptive position in order for us to be able to hear it. And getting into that receptive position will sometimes mean that we're going to have to spend some time fighting this a little for a while until we eventually kind of get tired of the fight and we just resign and we just allow spirit to step through, kind of like in the judgment moment. So maybe that for some of you that would be the case, or maybe that for others of you, your guides will take their time kind of like collecting all of your intentions before responding to make sure that this is what you want and that you are ready for this. Especially if some of you are experiencing confusion or indecisiveness at that time. Okay, so be ready for your next spiritual awakening to come through wherever you're going through the most stress in your life. Part one. It really feels like that to me here with your cards. So now, let me shuffle some oracle cards for you on camera and see any sort of like signs and synchronicities that could be coming through for you guys that may happen right before your awakening comes. And I've chosen quite a bit of a selection of decks. I don't know if I'm going to be like using them all. Well, let's go with like one card of each, right? Let's go with one card of each and then maybe like 2 cards of those, the smaller ones. Okay, so Spirit, show me what signs, synchronicities, Pile 1 might see right before their awakening, what might be happening in their life, what their awakening is going to be like, anything that you allow me to see. This is 2 cards, so let me reshuffle because I just want one from this deck. We have here diligence. Spirit, give me one card about Padawan's next spiritual awakening. Oh. You have the Age of Light and Pleiades, but let me shuffle because again I just want one card of this one. And I don't know why, but to me it just feels more like it's meant for my querent when it's just one card dropping at a time. All right, so this one fell on the floor, you guys, and it says, trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Wow. That reminds me of the 6 of Swords here. You remember when I said, like, at the beginning of your reading that some of you might actually know what to do during your next spiritual awakening. You might just not trust in that for some reason. You might just not, like, maybe because it scares you a little, maybe because like the information that you receive intuitively might be kind of conflicting maybe for you. I feel like there's definitely like a message here about sort of trusting any sort of like gut feelings you're going to receive, any kind of intuitive hints you're going to receive during that period that try to tell you to leave a situation behind, pull away from a situation, gain a bit your distance from something here, maybe leave something behind, leave a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable, even that brings you too much like stress, too much anxiety, too much mental turmoil. And it has been for a while, if that's the case. Like, I feel like your intuition will have told you for a while that this is what is happening. So your cards, they keep falling on the floor. Okay, but we have here the card of play for you. Yeah, see, so I feel like you may just be called to enjoy your life again. When your spiritual awakening will be coming, it will be kind of like I was saying earlier, where like, you know, there's those moments, those very happy moments that are coming inside of your life, and they're supposed to come for you to be able to relax and just have a good time. But somehow it's like your thoughts have just been stealing those moments away from you where you're just supposed to play. You're just supposed to feel at peace. You're just supposed to be enjoying yourself. And so I feel like when your next spiritual awakening will hit, there will clearly be this inner like nudge inside of you that you're supposed to just leave this be for some reason. And there will be this nudging as well that somehow you'll be tired of just be always like stirring this situation, and you will just feel like ready to play somehow, is what this feels like to me. Have I forgotten a deck that I haven't shuffled from yet? This one? Okay. What signs and synchronicities will my Padawan see? Ooh. I'm dropping that everywhere. We have here the card of the Gentleman from my Lenormand. It's not a tarot deck, sorry. It's an oracle deck. Lenormand is really like a different system than tarot cards, but it follows a system still. And we have here the book that flipped through for you guys. Let me get one last one. I feel like a third one from this deck will be great. Oh, we have the bouquet. Usually with the bouquet, there's an invitation as well. There's like sometimes some kind of like gesture being made, like a nice gesture towards you. And next to the card of the Gentleman, that could be talking about someone inviting you to change your mind a little, especially with this card of play here, to just change your mind, to like maybe do something with them that will sort of like clear the air, something that will allow you to just change your mind and change your energies around this. And I feel that accepting this invitation could be leading towards that awakening for you. So Part 1, you guys may get like some of the most random ass invitations to get out of the house and do something fun. Your phone may blow up with messages or people trying to contact you or check in on you. And that will be one of the first big signs that this awakening will be coming for you and that it's time to leave something behind. You may start as well getting contacted by people that you did not expect to be contacted by as well. And this book as well is saying to me here that a story could be shared and written with people in your life that just allow you to kick back and play more in your life. People that you can just have fun with and just keep your life more lighthearted, people that are not too complicated, or they are not bringing so much drama. They're just there for a fun time, to have fun, to give you a fun time as well. And they allow you to sort of take your life not as seriously. I feel that people will be placed on your path during your next awakening to sort of pull you out of this mentally stuck place that you've brewed so much at with this Nine of Swords. And you know, this gentleman card, by the way, like it doesn't need to be a man or like a gentleman necessarily coming. It's just that I'm sensing some sort of like third party here. Where there are going to be people around you that will just try to make you laugh and make you smile and make you have a good time with this card of play. And it's going to be your first sign from the universe that you can just relax now and permit yourself to release something. And something about those moments of play will feel a lot different than the ones that I was saying earlier that you can enjoy sometimes. It will feel like you're writing a new story with people around you that are really making you feel good on the inside with this card here. And this Trust and Niggle card, it really tells me that you guys will feel drawn to this. It's like your own body and intuition will start talking to you very loud before that next awakening in your life starts to occur and unfold too. It will tell you exactly what sorts of like energies you want to be around more and which types of energies you feel drawn to spend less and less time around. And now with this card of diligence here, I'm just looking at this bird that is like flying around. So you guys could also be seeing birds a lot more as a sign. Maybe that a certain type of bird will kind of like be hanging out next to your window, or maybe that there's a bird that usually isn't, you know, there around your area, around your home, that is going to start to hang out around your home or around you. Maybe that there's a specific bird that will keep following you around or that will keep showing up in readings or in your dreams or in your meditative state and stuff like that. You guys could be also seeing a lot of different flowers with this card of the bouquet here. Especially roses. And roses are said to be a symbol of like the purest, most unconditional divine love that exists. So definitely watch out for that. But it's interesting because like birds are mascots of freedom, right? And I was talking earlier in your reading about wanting to be freed from something. I feel like this will be the big theme behind your next awakening, Pawan. This awakening will try to like free you of anything that has been keeping you from flying, from just playing, from just being in your element and just enjoying yourself. So definitely listen to those signs that will be trying to pull you away from this situation, Pawan, because something about you listening to that is really going to trigger that awakening to occur. But Pawan, this is all that I'm seeing about your next awakening. Thank you so much for having spent this time in sacred space. space with your higher self, with your guides, and with me. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you want me to read your cards again, because of course I would love to be able to do that. And if some of you have been curious, yes, I do offer personal readings online. I offer pre-recorded video readings on my website only, and PDF readings on my Etsy store. And the links to all of that will be down below in the description box. And otherwise, I hope to see you all soon in the next video. Bye bye, guys. Hello, Pal2, and welcome to your reading. So sorry if you can hear the fans turned on around me. We're currently going through like a huge heat wave here in Montreal today by the time that I'm filming this. And if I could have filmed this another day, I would. But right now is like the magical day where there's no roommates at my apartment and I am alone. So it's just perfect right now. Those of you that live with people must know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I just wanted to still take advantage of that moment fully, and hopefully that won't distract you from the reading. But let's get started, you guys, and check in with your tarot cards at first to see what sort of next life events could be triggering your next spiritual awakening for you. And then after that, I'm going to pull like a couple of oracle cards on camera as well to see some of the signs and synchronicities that you could be seeing right before that awakening hits for you. But let's see what you guys have received now. And we are starting with the Sun card. Then we have the King of Swords. And then we have the Devil reversed. So that's funny. It's funny because I'm seeing you experiencing your next spiritual awakening at a place in your life where you're actually on cloud 9. How to, and things are just like starting to get better for you. You're starting to get your life in order. You're really just starting to feel better and better about yourself and in your own skin. Maybe like things are finally starting to fall back into the right places. Like you've really made some positive, powerful changes in your life that just overall made you feel better and happier. And for some of you, this awakening could also be happening like as you take some health matters into your own hands and things just like start to get better. So maybe that some of you will have made those kind of like changes in your life that just overall makes you like more blissful. That just overall like promotes more light, like more space for like that happiness and that just laughter and just like that just that presence, right? In like your present moment, just to be. So, but your awakening feels very significant, Pal2, because it kind of feels like miracle, like a miracle energy. And like there is something that you could finally defeat in your life with the Devil reversed. And this is going to be like a pretty big mountain that you will have climbed. It's going to feel like finally it's like that mountain is behind you, like this big challenge is behind, or the hardest part is behind you. And you can finally start to just living. You can just finally start living. And you can basically catch up on time. And it will feel like whatever was after you to kind of like get you with the Devil reverse, if that makes sense, will never be able to catch up to you where you're going. Like the sun is finally able to shine bright on you again after like a dark period of your life, or after like a very challenging period maybe. But this Devil reverse to me feels like you defeating your own demon somewhere. And some of you could be in a state right now, like in that phase right now. And if sun could feel like a very distant place, But there is light at the end of the tunnel here, and you will be able to see that soon. And finally, it's not like a phase anymore, but you're really able to stay in that sun state. And that is something, very significant here, because it really feels like something is finally over for you and for good. And you're able to stay in that light right now. You're able to stay and enjoy that light plenty, how you wanted to. So it's like the light you're in, or the light that is going to reach you and be able to touch you, is one that is going to stick with you. And from now on, your life won't ever be returning into that low space that it was at. So there is a major contrast that your life is going to undergo right before that awakening hits, from this devil reversed to the sun card. And while in the past, every time that maybe you were going through something really positive, like experiencing a moment of happiness, or a moment of release, it could have felt just like temporary, like a very quick moment, like the beast would eventually always catch back to you. But your awakening here is really coming through to me like as complete bliss, as complete fulfillment. Like you wouldn't want to exchange your reality or what you've gone through for anyone else's journey. And that's not to say that now everything is like happy forever and you're never going to have like a low time again, or, like be challenged again, because like that would be so false of me to say. We all go through challenges all of the time, right? But it really does feel here like there's more lasting benefits that are really emerging out of that. And it really feels like that happiness, that happy sun moment is more present, like 80% of the time, versus the opposite, where before it could have felt like, the darkness was present with you 80% of the time, and maybe the sun moments of your life, they were present only like for that rest of like the 20%. I'm also getting with this King of Swords that this is complete clarity. And I mean, the sun card is the legit card of illumination. But the King of Swords is someone that is so clear, so direct about his intentions. He knows who he is. He knows where he is going. There is never any confusion or self-questioning with him. So this card is also saying to me that this awakening will happen at this spot where you're going to have a plan for yourself and for your life. It's going to feel like you did a 360 from night to day, and there is no questioning of your purpose anymore, or of what you're supposed to do anymore. So it also feels like a lot of questions get cleared out of the air for you here, Paltu. And you know how sometimes, I'm pretty sure I'm not just like the only one to experience that, but sometimes I'll look back on my past, all right? And sometimes I'll look on moments of my past, and I don't even recognize myself anymore. And sometimes I wonder how I could tolerate or allow myself to be such in a bad position that I was in the past, or like with bad people around me, because that's just so not me right now. And sometimes it's difficult to believe sometimes that that could be me at a certain point in time in the past. Like, I could make these choices in the past. And sometimes, that contrast is so strong, you guys, that it's kind of like my consciousness almost wants to repress that, or like has almost like erased that out of my memory, that I did such things, or like involve myself with like certain types of people and in certain types of situations. And it's like so strange. And that's because what were my weaknesses back at the time are now some of my greatest strengths. And well, I think that for you, Paltu, I get that energy here a lot, where just like me, like you may feel like a cat with 9 lives, like you just bounce back from stuff you don't even know how you got into in the first place, because that was such a contrast from the person that you are right now. And that was coming from an old version of you that you don't even see in yourself anymore, that was operating in that devil reverse sort of position, coming from a version of you that was living in its shadow, or that was living from a lesser version of you that was unhealed or immature, maybe. And all of that to say that I do think that like your next spiritual awakening will be triggered by a realization like that, like you're now so far off from where you first started, and like there is a version of you of the past that you're clearly separated from right now, like permanently, and don't even recognize that version of you anymore. And your awakening is definitely coming through as like this miracle of you never knowing that you would become a completely different person with completely different life choices, lifestyle maybe, or values, whatever it could be. Maybe totally different beliefs than what you had in the past as well. That could be it. It's definitely coming through as a big moment of confirmation that is going to clarify so many things in your life with the Sun and King of Swords. It's going to clarify who you are as an individual, because the Sun represents our ego and our sense of identity. And the King of Swords is just that state of knowledge. And it's the teacher role too, where the things that you overcame, you may even start teaching it to others, or you may start to see a lot of people around you that are undergoing the same lessons that you overcame and had to learn the hard way in your past, Paltu. And so, yeah, there's just massive confirmation coming through with this pal here. And that will be a big part of your awakening process, where a part of your journey will just get clarified, where you might receive answers that you didn't receive before. Too, for when it comes to like why you guys had to place certain things behind you and never look back with the devil reversed. And there's a part of that awakening that feels very shadow work related to me. It feels very shadow-y. Like with this devil reverse, like there is a big light being shed here, like a big beacon of light, illuminating like all of these patterns of the past that you overcame, and all of those actions and decisions that didn't serve your best and highest interest. And maybe that there is going to be some illumination around those things that you realize now sabotaged you as well in the past, bound to. But your awakening is going to feel like a clear line is being drawn in separating this old version of you and a new one, like a healthier, happier version of you with this Sun card here. But you guys, let's start shuffling some oracle cards now to see any sort of signs and synchronicities that may happen right before that awakening hits. And I'm going to pull one card from this deck like I did for pile 1. Spirit, connect me to pile 2 and show me anything that you will allow me to see about their next spiritual awakening. What are some of the signs and synchronicities that my pile 2 may see? How their awakening will be like. We have here gratitude and receive. That fell out, but I just want one card, so I will keep shuffling. Okay, we have here the cards. I love that. Do you see this? Cosmic flow. So a lot of things may start flowing and feel like more effortless than they used to be right before the awakening hits. It's that Sun energy here again. It will feel like things are kind of like starting to clear up in your life, pile 2. And it would just feel like you're entering that flow state again, that creative space, that receptive space, that space where like hold resistances can no longer hold you back or hinder your path. That's what like it being a flow means to me. It feels like we're not battling a current anymore, right? Oh. Okay, Spirit, connect me to pile 2. Show me whatever else you want to say about their next spiritual awakening. What will you allow me to see? We have here the card of transformation, and it says things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. Wow, so you guys, yeah, you may undergo like this complete transformation when your next awakening will hit. It will feel like your life has completely shifted, like you're undergoing a lot of changes as well. maybe like a lot of back-to-back changes in your life, or just like a lot of personal like transformation, like a lot of personal like change in terms of like the things you identify with, the things you're interested in. What else you have to say? We have the card of success. Yeah. Again, it's that cosmic flow and sun sort of card. Like things may start working out for you and in your favor right before your awakening hits, Paltu. And that will be surely your sign that like you're really going the right path. You're really heading out into a nice space and a blissful like place in your life. What are some of the signs that my Paltu might see? We have here the mountain. What did I say, you guys, with the devil reversed? It really may feel like you guys have just placed that high mountain behind you. Like you're placing a challenging time behind you. And here we are with this card of success here. It's that like miracle sort of like phase that I was talking about. Like suddenly it's like, wow, like the hardest part is over now. I can finally breathe. I can finally just flow. I can finally just, live and be free and be me. Just might feel like you live a completely different life as well with this card of transformation. We have here the Tower. And one last one. Let me see one last card for Paltu. Oh, okay, we have here the lilies. We had as well the tree that fell off, but I'm going to replace it under the deck because this is the one that flipped through for you. So lilies could be a really big sign for you. And do you see how like aren't lilies like those flowers that like how they're piercing the snow here? Aren't lilies like the only flowers that can kind of like, that sort of like pierce the snow? Like when spring is coming or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like, are these types of flowers? I think they are. Like the types of flowers that can like start to grow even through like the harshest sort of environment. I feel like this is really you, Paltu. Like you're really emerging and blooming through like emerging from what seems to be like a very like winter phase of your life. There's even snow here on top of that mountain. It seemed like you were in a winter phase, like a very big phase of your life where like it was very challenging. Life was very scarce for you. The conditions were very harsh for you. Where you may have had to release a lot as well, because winter times are usually like a periods of like, kind of like spiritually dying, spiritually releasing. Just really feels like things will start to get better and like you will have emerged from one of the most difficult places you've been at in your life right before that awakening, Paltu. And the signs that your awakening is coming, well, first of all, is that peace may start to emerge with the lilies, and you may be ready to forgive things you couldn't forgive before. Your health may start to improve even, and just your overall mood and outlook over your own life. And I'm not even picking up that this is necessarily because life is getting like suddenly like easy on you, or things are necessarily like clearing themselves up by their own. I'm more so like picking up that this is just you coping differently with these challenges now, where you're not allowing this to like break you or to stop you. And representation of snow, by the way, a representation of like mountains, could be like one really big sign as well. Like it could also be like something very important that you see a lot, or that you could be noticing right before your awakening. Or like me seeing that snow could also mean that you could be going through that this winter. And you could also be experiencing an increased level of higher self-esteem with the Tower card, a card of success, and the Sun card right before the awakening comes into your life as well. You just could feel more optimistic. And that's the thing actually about the Sun card. I feel like the Sun is a much deeper card than we think, and a lot of people tend to give it credit for. Because the Sun actually doesn't speak of like having a good life or having an easier life or, having everything that we want come to us. It doesn't speak about that. The Sun doesn't speak of an event, it speaks of a state of being that we experience when, in spite of the challenges, and when no matter what arrives, we still have this capacity to look at the bright side of things still. And looking at the bright side of things is not always an ignorant thing. It's not always a naive thing. Sometimes looking at the bright side of things is what is necessary for our survival. And it's an ability to be able to do that. It takes a strong mind and a strong energy that usually has gone through a lot. Some of the strongest people in my life, some of the happiest people I've ever seen in my life usually have been through a lot. And I'm pretty sure that in your own life, you're going to notice that too. And that's usually why. That's usually because they've trained these challenges to never be a point that will break their spirit. People that have been through a lot, that have survived a lot, have learned that. They have learned that their capacity to tolerate that pain or tolerate those challenges is a lot greater than they first thought at the beginning, or that a lot of people out there tend to think about themselves. So they just have like that tolerance that is just on a higher level. And they just have this capacity to be able to identify the benefits, and no matter what is happening in their life, more easier than other people. And I feel that this is definitely going to feel like your energy is strengthening with this Tower and is just becoming unbreakable and unshakable right before that awakening gets started in your life, Paltsu. And if your energy is not there right now, if your energy feels fragile, like it's easily shaken by its environment right now, I do feel like this is what you're headed towards. I feel like your cards here are basically preparing you for this to occur, and that will be one of the major signs that you're going through that awakening, basically. But Paltsu, this is all that I'm seeing about your next awakening. Thank you so much for having spent this time in sacred space with your higher self, with your guides, and with me. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you want me to be able to read your cards again, because I would love to do that. And if some of you have been curious, yes, I do offer personal readings online. I offer pre-recorded video readings on my website only, and PDF readings, PDF written readings on my Etsy store. So definitely check that out. All of the links to all of that will be down below in the description box for you. And otherwise, I hope to see you all soon in the next video. Bye bye, you guys. Hello, Pal 3, and welcome to your reading. By the way, I just want to start by saying so sorry if you can hear the fans running around me. Today is super goddamn hot, and I just can't work without them. That would just be not possible. So yeah, I just hope that this don't distract you from the reading at hand today. But yeah, let's get started with your tarot cards, you guys, to see what sort of next life events could be triggering your spiritual awakening coming for you. And then after that, I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards on camera to see sort of the signs and more so the synchronicities that you could be experiencing right before that awakening hits. But let's start and see what you guys have received now. And we are starting with the Page of Cups reversed. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. And then finally we have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so I know where this is heading now. I feel that a solid sign that your next spiritual awakening will be coming soon, Pal 3, is definitely your life going more quiet, going more still, maybe going a bit more routine than usual. Your life may start to feel really like almost too stable with the Seven of Pentacles when your next spiritual awakening will hit. And it could feel like you're in a bit of a lack of excitement or a lack of romanticism in your life with this Page of Cups reversed. And at the beginning, you may go through a feeling of emptiness somehow with this Page of Cups reversed and the Six of Pentacles here. Did I say Page of Pentacles? I meant Page of Cups reversed if I said that. So sorry if I did. But yeah, you may feel like something somehow is lacking in your own cup, and maybe that you won't be able to exactly pinpoint what that is. Maybe that the people around you won't understand as well why you're being a bit more distant or a bit more avoidant, or why with a Page of Cups reversed you're being more melancholic than usual. Maybe a bit more nostalgic, why you're maybe fantasizing more about certain things of the past. Maybe the past will even draw you, like some of your best moments may feel like they are behind you, and it's not true. It's just because your life will be so quiet, I feel, and it's going to be a way for your mind or for your ego to try to process that quiet that it cannot quite understand or figure out why it is there and what you should do with it. Because Page of Cups is the most romantic character of the entire tarot. He's mind of the poet, constantly daydreaming and fantasizing about the possibilities and what will come next. But reverse though, that side of him can start to turn into its shadow. So the Page of Cups can become obsessively hooked on that daydreaming more than reality when it comes out reversed. And they can start to want to escape that reality in those fantasies. They can start avoiding responsibilities and stop completely involving themselves in the mundane daily situations and problems that the world created for themselves. Even they can start to romanticize the past as well, or romanticize what they don't have or cannot have. So there is really a big warning here with this Page of Cups reversed and Six of Pentacles, because during your next spiritual awakening, Pal 3, I see you realizing that nothing can quite fill up the hole or that void in your heart, and I see you calling for things that perhaps you will be unaware, or trying to kind of like patch up that emptiness that you feel somewhere emotionally. Maybe that some of you will even try to solve an emotional problem with a material goal or pursuit as well, only to realize that there's actually nothing in the 3D realm that seems to be able to bring you what you're looking for and out of that feeling. But to me, it more so feels like a lot of you on this pal may go on a quest searching. And that's what is really going to trigger that next spiritual awakening for you. So, yeah, you may go on searching for something new, or for things you've never had or never experienced in the 3D or spiritually. You may go out searching or looking for more with the Six of Pentacles here. And some of you, I'm saying right now, some of you, okay? Please don't go after me. It's okay if you want to reject this message. But some of you may even find yourselves in that point in your life where you feel more drawn to, like, you know, intake of like maybe trying psychedelic experiences as well, or just increasing your intake of substances like that, just to experience something more profound that could help you see or get answers or experience beyond this physical reality that you could feel is being limited by the time of your spiritual awakening. And if that's the case, like just be careful, just be mindful, be careful not to use that as an escape of the things you do not want to deal with in your 3D. And you know, I'm not here to stop you, by the way, because as I always mention very openly openly. Like me, myself, I'm a substance user too in my own practice. I don't do it regularly though, but I do it rarely and only when I'm really feeling the calling to. But I am far from being someone that will start like gatekeeping people about like psychedelics and stuff like that. Like you do what you want to do in your own practice. Okay. So keep listening to yourself, and don't listen to anyone else on YouTube trying to tell you otherwise, and your own intuition, by the way, because I think that for some people it can really help them like shatter those earthy limitations. And I do think that they are not for everybody, but I do also think that they can really be helpful, a helpful tool at the right timing. And I know that I come from experience when I say that sometimes when we approach these things with expectations to like maybe suddenly have all of the answers or suddenly be healed of something, or, because we want to have that hit, that revolutionary, life-changing experience, we can definitely walk away from experiences like that very, very deceived. And I think that it's because no substance in the world and no teacher in this world can hold the answers for you, Pal 3. But you are the answer. Drugs, spiritual teachers and gurus and stuff like that, they can only remind you of what you already know and help you access or tap into that remembrance. But I don't think that anyone or anything out there can alleviate the weight of your own existence out of you, but you. And I know that it's frustrating sometimes to feel like you're lost maybe, or feeling like you're left alone to figure out the puzzle without any spiritual help or assistance. But there are those spiritual awakenings that absolutely call for a period of searching. And I know that this is probably not what you want to hear, most of you are on this reading. I know that for me, like I would be feeling a certain type of way if I was to like receive a message like this. But I really feel you, Pal 3. I know what it's like, to feel abandoned. Having to figure out something on your own in a very dark place in your life that, you don't understand. Like a lot of people don't notice, but from age 12 to about like age 19, I would say, I've been struggling bad with depression and very dark self-annihilating thoughts. And I was medicated and following like many different therapies over time. And during all of these years, like I was really searching for that piece of the puzzle. I was really searching for meaning, for a reason to keep up. And it lasted 7 years, that awakening in my life where I was just losing myself completely. It lasted until I lost someone very close to me, actually. And it's like this loss kind of like tilted my quest almost. It tilted it from like wanting to understand the point of my life to wanting to understand the point to life itself, like literally. And I remember being at the hospital, like shortly after, begging for something to come save me from this. And I was completely hopeless and thought that I was helpless at that point. And I remember a voice in my mind that came clear as day. And that was my own, but I knew that it wasn't coming from me. I knew it wasn't mine. And I cannot even describe this experience to you because it's something like very, very out of this plane. Like it's something that I guess you have to experience with yourself. And I don't want to color what it could be for you with my own. But let me tell you though that at that point, I would have never thought that I would end up here today reading cards on YouTube and like helping people with like the very things that I struggled with for a decade and like a decade ago, I would have laughed at the irony of this. Really, I would have thought that this was a joke. So, life works in such mysterious ways. And I do think that it launches us on those different quests and crises that are actually affiliated with our very purpose. But Pal 3, this is often in those moments where we've been actively looking for something for so long that it comes to find us. It's in those like places and moments, and just not knowing what we need and what is lacking sometimes that the most powerful awakenings occur. And I heard it like a very simple quote this week, actually. And it was like in the live action of like One Piece that just came out on Netflix. For those of you that follow that, like I just started watching it actually this week. I just watched 2 episodes so far. I know it's nerdy as fuck right now, so sorry. But like Luffy, the main character, was saying something like, if your path is too easy, then you're on the wrong one. And this just resonated so deep inside of me, like so simple and yet so relevant and so true. And you know, I feel like the universe brings nothing in our way that we aren't strong enough to combat and overcome. And in fact, we're capable of overcoming so much difficult things, like much more than we credit ourselves for. And it can sometimes feel like we're going to crumble under the weight of our challenges sometimes, but it's because very often those things need to crumble in our life in order to be reconstructed and reimagined in the ways that they are supposed to. And that's what happens when we are on the right path, growing and evolving like we should, you know? But let's shuffle some oracle cards now, you guys, and see more, like get some more insights into maybe like the signs and synchronicities that you could be witnessing right before that awakening occurs in your life. Any kind of like information that Spirit will allow me to see about that spiritual awakening for you and that I may have missed with those tarot cards. What is the next sign and synchronicities that my pile 3 will be receiving right before that awakening hits? Okay, so we have future self and be open, but let me shuffle still because I just want one card at a time. Don't know, it's just like a weird reader thing, you know? I'm into those rituals, you guys. I have like my rules, my very specific rules for when it comes to like the cards that I want, and it's often that, unless I'm being instructed otherwise. Okay, so we have here, you are enough. That's, oh my God, that's powerful. That just reminded me that message that I was telling you about earlier, about you guys like wanting to fill up that empty space in your life. And it just says here, you are enough. So maybe that something about this spiritual awakening is supposed to make you realize that something you've been looking out for a very long time is actually in you. It's actually something that you've got. You have the answer, or you have the happiness that you're looking for. You have the peace. You are that person maybe you've been wanting to become. Something about that. What else, Spirit? What else do you have to say? It says here, align your life. What is not aligned or needs to change? Yeah, see, I feel like this is a symptom that actually something needs to change in your life. When that is going to occur, when you're going to feel like there's something somehow missing and you can't necessarily tell what it is. Maybe that some of you feel like you have everything that you could want, and yet it's as though you're still not feeling something or how you think you should feel about this situation. We have here security. Maybe it's something that's bringing you security that needs to change. Because I keep feeling something that is really safe, like really stale, very, for sure secure with this card of the 7 of Pentacles. let's get 3 cards of those now. Spirit, what are some of the signs and synchronicities that Pal 3 will observe right before their awakening? We have here dog. And this is the Lenormand, by the way. This is a Lenormand deck, so it's a very particular system, very different than tarot cards, but it's kind of like tarot cards in a way. Oh, we have one here that flew out, and we have the birds. So this is funny. This came through actually in another pile today, but maybe that you guys will see like lots of birds or a particular type of bird before your next awakening. What else? We have here the ship. So ships could be another thing that you see a lot. Maybe images of ships, paintings of ships. You may dream that you're on a ship. Dogs also may appear. Maybe that some of you will be getting a pet as well. Maybe that some of you have a pet on the way as well that will be accompanying you during this awakening. Yeah, things may become a little really oddly quiet and stable before your next awakening, Pal 3. But one striking thing that may happen though is that certain things you may realize are kind of like starting to fall out in alignment with you, and be ready for that awakening to come in to kind of like shake you out of that kind of like stable reality. And what is weird is that that's going to be actually one of the major signs. And be ready, by the way, for this awakening to shake you out of this reality and to bring a little action to also align your life here with a real sense of security and loyalty with the dog card here and a card of security, and perhaps exposing those energies that you've kind of like fallen out of alignment of, or you've outgrown in your life, that are just not like so in alignment with you anymore. And this is funny because I'm feeling that there won't be as much like signs before your next awakening, Pal 3, and that's the sign itself. Okay, so the fact that the universe will be more so silent, or the fact that the energies around you will be or will seem so still, actually. But you may definitely have like a self-worth or a self-love type of realization that could really trigger that awakening for you though. Perhaps realizing that you don't need something in order to survive anymore, or don't need something to make you fulfilled and happy, but you can be on that state without it. And like I've said, you could be realizing as well that something you've been looking for was actually something you already possess in some way all along. And I don't know what this could be, but it could be something different for all of you. And it could be what is so significant and illuminating in this experience for each one of you. But your next awakening is all about moving things that you no longer need out of your own way, Pal 3, to make way for real stability, real security, a real sense of support maybe. This could be why the Six of Pentacles came out too. And not one that feels empty or that leaves you feeling like not completely satisfied with a Page of Cups reverse, but one that makes you feel full and complete, one that makes you feel whole, however that translates to you. So this is about bringing you to a place where you're not searching anymore. And this is what is so profound to me about your pal. It's going to bring the end of a searching era and of a time of need, perhaps in your life, with the Six of Pentacles here. That was bringing a lot of sadness, a lot of feelings of isolation as well.
with a Page of Cups reversed. And that will maybe make you realize as well that the problem was never about you not being appreciative enough of what you have, but that certain things in your life couldn't bring you what you needed or weren't suited for you in that manner. It's going to bring a complete shift of perspective and of priorities in that regard. But pile 3, this is all that I'm seeing about your next awakening. Thank you so much for having spent this time in sacred space with your higher self, with your guides, and with me today. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you want me to read your cards again, because I would love to do that. And if some of you have been curious, yes, I do offer personal readings online. I offer pre-recorded video readings on my website only, and PDF personalized written readings on my Etsy store, and the links to all of that will be down below in the description box. And otherwise, I shall see you all soon in the next video. Bye bye, guys.